The first timestamp reads 6:42 p.m., December, continuing, a trail camera mounted under the eaves of a single-story house catches the back porch in the soft grain of low-light infrared. The sun has been down for less than an hour. Snow on the deck rail. A raccoon walks into frame, slow and deliberate, and steps toward the cat dish someone forgot to bring in. Now, the second clip. Same camera, same porch, same raccoon, identifiable by a notch in the left ear, and a slight limp in the right hind leg. The timestamp this time reads 3:14 a.m., July. The deck is dry, crickets in the audio track. The raccoon comes from the other direction, lingers near the same spot where the cat dish used to be, and moves on. Same animal, same backyard, 8 hours apart on the clock, and roughly 6 months apart on the calendar. Here is the part most homeowners find genuinely confusing. Once they start reviewing their own footage, the popular assumption that raccoons are creatures of midnight, that they emerge on some fixed nocturnal schedule, turns out to be one of the most common and most quietly wrong ideas about urban wildlife. Midnight is not the rule. Midnight is one possibility on a much longer schedule. Once you understand the schedule, the two timestamps in this opening clip stop being a contradiction. They start being exactly what you would expect. Want to walk through something here? Because the misunderstanding goes deeper than most people realize. When someone tells you a raccoon is out at the wrong time, what they usually mean is that the animal showed up at an hour they didn't expect. 7 in the evening, 5 in the morning, right at sunset before the kids are even inside. The instinct is to assume something is wrong with the raccoon. Almost always, the raccoon is doing math. That sounds like a metaphor, but it isn't really. A wild raccoon every evening is solving a small equation. The variables are how long the night is going to last, how cold it is, how hungry the animal is, whether there are young to feed, where the most reliable food has been recently, and how much human activity is still happening outside. The animal doesn't know it's solving an equation, but the schedule it produces is the answer to one. Wildlife managers who track urban raccoons across seasons have come to expect this. The emergence time shifts. T shifts predictably. Once you know which variables move in which direction, you can almost guess what a healthy raccoon should be doing, and a given month at a given latitude, without ever seeing the footage. So let's walk through the seasons, one at a time. The way the raccoon experiences them. Summer first, because summer is where the assumption breaks down fastest. Number July. At the latitude of Atlanta or Phoenix, the sun doesn't set until well past 8. Real darkness, the kind that gives a nocturnal animal cover, doesn't arrive until close to 9, and it ends on the other side by 5 or 5:30 in the morning. That's a working night of maybe 7 or 8 hours, depending where you are. The further north you go, the shorter it gets. No, northern Minnesota or upstate New York in midsummer, true darkness can last only 5 or 6 hours. A raccoon waiting for full dark before emerging is a raccoon losing valuable foraging time. So, in summer, what you tend to see is emergence pushed earlier. Sometimes right at dusk, occasionally a little before. The animal trades some of the safety of full dark for a longer working window. The very late timestamp from our opening clip, 3:14 a.m. in July, fits this. The raccoon has already been active for several hours by then. T's not coming out at 3 in the morning. T's still out at 3 in the morning. There's a difference, and that difference is most of the story. Winter is the opposite problem. In December, at most of the latitudes where people watch backyard raccoons, N, the United States, the sun is down by 5:30. By 6, it's full dark. The night stretches out for 12, 13, 14 hours. In theory, that's a long working window. N, practice, it's something else. Because in cold weather, a raccoon's metabolism shifts. The animal puts on weight through the fall, and then once temperatures drop, enters what biologists call torpor. This is worth being precise about. Raccoons do not hibernate. The word gets used loosely online, but it's not accurate. What raccoons do is a lighter, more flexible version of the same idea. Periods of reduced activity, slowed metabolism, and long stretches inside a den. When the weather is harsh, broken by emergence on milder nights. When a raccoon does come out in winter, it tends to come out early. 6:30, sometimes earlier, on a cold, clear evening. The reason is simple energy economics. The animal has limited reserves. T wants to feed and get back to shelter before the temperature drops further into the night. A long, slow, all-night patrol in January burns more calories than it returns. A focused trip starting at dusk, hitting 2 or 3 reliable food sources, and ending before midnight returns more than it costs. That December 6:42 p.m. timestamp from the cold open isn't a sick raccoon. T isn't a confused raccoon. It's a winter raccoon doing exactly what the math says to do. Spring complicates things again. This is the time of year when adult females are denning with young, and the schedule starts to fragment. A nursing mother has a different problem than a single adult. She can't be gone for the whole night. The kits need warmth, and depending on their age, they need her returning frequently. So what you tend to see in trail cam footage from April and May, yet something that looks almost chaotic at first. Short trips, multiple emergences, sometimes dusk and pre-dawn from the same animal in the same night. People who don't know what they're looking at sometimes assume they have 2 raccoons working in shifts. Often, it's one female making the rounds, returning to the den, going out again. The fragmentation isn't random. That's the schedule of an animal, balancing 2 jobs, feeding herself and keeping the young alive. Both jobs have hard time limits, and the schedule reflects that. Then comes fall, and fall has its own gravity. Anyone who has spent time reviewing trail camera footage from September and October eventually notices something. The raccoons start showing up earlier. Not dramatically earlier at first, maybe 20 minutes here, half an hour there. But by mid-October, in a productive yard, it's not unusual to see a raccoon walk through before the sky is fully dark. Sometimes, well before. The reason is the most basic one in the animal kingdom: weight gain before winter. A raccoon entering the cold months underweight has a real chance of not surviving them. The drive to feed in October overrides some of the caution that keeps the animal hidden in July. This is also when you'll get the calls. A homeowner sees a raccoon in the backyard at 5:30 in the evening in broad daylight by their reckoning, and assumes something is wrong. Usually nothing is wrong. The animal is simply running on October math instead of July math. And then there's one more layer. And it's a layer that doesn't appear in the textbook descriptions of seasonal emergence because it's specifically a human creation. Urban raccoons learn the rhythms of the neighborhoods they live in. Garbage night is the clearest example. N. A yard where the bins go to the curb on Tuesday evening. The raccoon traffic on Tuesday night is often noticeably different from the rest of the week. Earlier sometimes, more targeted, more confident. This isn't the raccoon reading a calendar. The raccoon learning that Tuesday smells like opportunity and that Wednesday smells like empty cans. The reward shapes the schedule. The same effect shows up around outdoor pet feeding times, around bird feeder fillings, around backyard composting habits. Every routine a household keeps, the local wildlife eventually learns to read. Here's where the picture finally comes together. What you're watching when you watch a raccoon emerge isn't an animal on a fixed nocturnal schedule. T's an animal balancing several constraints at once: night length, temperature, hunger, reproductive state, local risk, the reward map of the neighborhood. The schedule is the output of all of that, which means, and this is the part worth holding on to, that there is no single right answer to what time raccoons come out. The right answer is always conditional. At your latitude in this season, with this week's weather, near a yard, with these particular attractants, here is what you should expect. The clock changes. The animal is the same animal. So back to the 2 timestamps from the opening clip. 6:42 p.m. in December and 3:14 a.m. in July. Looked at the wrong way, it's a contradiction. Looked at the right way, it's almost boring. The same animal doing the same kind of math twice and arriving at different answers because the inputs changed. What this means for anyone who watches their own footage is something I genuinely encourage you to try. F. You've got a trail camera or a doorbell camera with a view of the yard. Let it run for a week. Don't filter the clips by the hour you expect to see something. Watch everything from sundown to sunup. Log the times, just the times. After about a week, you'll start to notice your own yard's pattern. T will be specific to your latitude, your season, your local food sources, your trash pickup day, and the particular animals visiting. T won't match the internet's vague claim that raccoons come out at midnight. T will match something more interesting, which is what your yard is actually telling them. Once you've got that pattern, the small fixes start to make sense in a different way. The pet food that comes inside before sundown in summer matters because summer raccoons are already out before full dark. The trash bin that goes to the curb on the morning of pickup instead of the night before matters because that's when the schedule peaks. The bird feeder taken in for winter matters more than it does in spring. None of this is about chasing the raccoon. T's about reading the schedule. The animal is already running and quietly removing the things that pull the schedule toward your door. Tonight, if it's clear, step outside about an hour after sunset. Stand still for a minute or two. Listen. You probably won't see anything. Most of this happens out of view, and that's by design. But somewhere within a few hundred yards of where you're standing, a raccoon is running the same calculation it ran last night. Slightly different inputs, slightly different answer. Same animal, same math. The clock on the wall says midnight is special. The raccoon disagrees.